everyone, welcome to the channel. I want to say hello and thanks for subscribing to all my new subscribers. Got a little victim here. Person brought it into me and showed me the carnage and wanted me to fix it. And I looked at him and I said, you're looking in labor cost alone at in between $300 and $400. And all it is a little Evinrude 15 horse. Probably about a 94, 95 model. Well, it's the 93 and up with the newer style bonnet and the overhead pull start. And they're like, wow, I mean, you know, it's a pretty old engine. I don't want to spend. I said, with what you guys did to this, every part of this motor has to come apart. I've rebuilt enough of these and done enough of them to know, just by looking at the damage I saw, I said, that engine will have to come into complete bits. Every part of it has to come apart to replace this broken item. I'll show you what the item is and show you what I mean. So let's look around. All right. When I told him this engine has to come to bits, I meant bits. And you're like, what in the world would, you know, make me take an engine that far down and so forth. And I'm trying to get some light on it over here, but there we go, maybe a little. That probably ain't gonna help anyway. But anyway, you can see there's the lower unit, there's the tiller handle, there's the transom lower clamps. All right. Here's the mid body, the transom clamps. This is what you have to do this repair for what they damaged. Here is the donor motor that I went out into my bone pile and got a midsection to get the part I needed. The part I needed is this one right here. This is what they broke. If you can see, there's a bolt broke off in there, and the other piece was completely broke that was on the engine. So this is the part that holds your tiller handle and your gear shift lever. Bolts in right there. So it goes right here. So you have to get the power head out of there to get to those bolts and all. And they also broke the motor mounts. I took out of this one because the ones in their midsections were just destroyed. So whatever they hit, it basically broke these bolts out of here, snapped one of them off clean, broke the other one out. It was down inside. And so this is the one off my donor motor that I put on here. That means you got to take the tiller handle off, the cable, the tiller cable, gear shift linkage, shift rod. It runs down through there, which runs down through here. So the power head has to come off. Well, here's the motor mounts. I haven't put the motor mount caps on yet. They go in there like that with a screw. But basically, when I told them $300 to $400 labor, they drove away. And they probably did a little looking around and everything. And keep in mind, I'm providing them with this aluminum piece that they busted. It was on that one over there. They busted one complete piece off, stripped it out. The bolt just pulled right out of there, and then that bolt snapped off. So quite a bit of carnage, and this job is not that hard. You might run into some salty stuff, salty bolts and stuff. I had a lot of trouble getting the tiller handle out of this one. The bolt was really salted in there pretty good, but I coaxed it out. So it's not a hard job, but it is a job that's labor intensive. You're gonna, you know, gear shift linkages, throttle linkages, You know, getting the power head bolts out of a salty motor. Getting the lower apart, you have to do that so you can get at the gear shift linkage to pull the gear shift rod up out of that hole, or down in there. So labor intensive. So after they did a little bit of look around and realized that, they came back and said, well, am I going to furnish the part that they broke? And I said, absolutely, I'm going to furnish it for 50% of what a new one costs. An aluminum bracket part like that, if you go to evinrudeusa.com, boats.net or whatever, and price that, it's going to be hundreds of dollars. So I'll give it to them for half price. So it's going to be a little bit of a bill for them here. It's a good running little motor other than that. The person that brought it to me, I asked him, how did this happen? You know, and he said it wasn't his engine. He was just delivering it from one of the remote villages. And so he didn't know how it happened. But boy, they really whopped it good and snapped off bolts and broke brackets. And so now that I've got the bracket back on and the motor mounts in, the rest of it will be quick. Just putting it all back together. Also on these engines, you got to pull all the plastic cowling and so forth off to get to that, so that you can get to the power head bolts and stuff. So everything, literally, from the hood to the lower unit. I didn't have to take off the prop nut, but that's about it. Other than that, everything has to come off. So I'll get her all back together, and we'll get right back with you, and we'll give her a test run. All right, we're still moving ahead on this. Well, I'm actually done with the little 15 that had the busted tiller slant bar gear shift control. And like I said, everything on this engine revolves around this. I mean, to get this piece out, you have to completely take the bottom, the midsection, the transom housing, the cowlings, the power head, shift link, shift handles, everything has to come off for that one little piece. And unfortunately, that's the part they broke. They broke that and one of the motor mounts itself. So I had to put a motor mount in there as well. So here's the little motor. And remember, it was in bits basically, but now she's all back together. And there's the piece that I replaced, that and this motor mount on the other side. This motor mount was still good. But you literally, to replace that piece, everything, all of it, has to be taken apart. So it's going to be a fairly expensive repair for them. But let's get her in the tank, give her a run. Move you over just a little bit. He's real nice. Reverse. All right. So, if you got one of those little 15s and you break that, like I said, it's not a hard job. It's just a little bit time consuming because you're going to be taking a lot of things apart and putting a lot of things back together. So I'll do them up a bill for that, and Like I said, I don't know how they did it, but they did a good job with it. So I'll do them up a bill, and now their little kicker's ready to go all back into one unit. So thanks for watching.